Here we have metal detecting finds, March 2019. Quite a bit of stuff I found this month. Let's start with the non-metals. Acorn, Lego piece. I always find a Lego piece or two, and Nerf dart or two. Nerf dart. 3 different army men found in 3 different parks on different days. This here is a skull, like a pencil top or something. Part of a Star Wars guy. And little pony, I think. Soda can of candy. I actually found some candy that was in wrappers. My son ate it. This is all the aluminum bits here. Quite a bit of aluminum this month. I'll melt that all down in the foundry. Nice chunk of brass, a brass connector of some sort. Now, I find so many of these. It's a piece of a lighter. So the wheels and the levers, I find so many of them. I don't know if other people find a lot of them, or maybe it's just me. Another thing that I find a lot of is zippers. Just, I wonder if people are walking around without zippers anymore on their pants, or maybe their backpack, or I don't know how they get there. Chunk of copper wire and a little wire, or a little copper cut off of a rod. A few quarters, bunch of dimes, some nickels. This one's kind of cool. It's a 2005 Jefferson nickel. It's got a buffalo on the back and a big profile on the front. When I first saw this, it was super corroded, and I thought, oh goodness, I found a buffalo, because that's the first thing I saw. But I've dremeled it quite a bit, whizzed it. All of these I soaked in acid and then dremeled, with these 2 exceptions. This year is a 65, missed silver by 1 year, and both of these are 65s. So this one has that kind of waxy feel. Feels kind of neat. That's exactly how I found it. Kind of a chocolatey, waxy sort of feel. Some other weird stuff. Here's just weird stuff that I found. Flashlight bottom with a magnet in it. A fingernail clipper. Gross. And here's another magnet piece. Got a magnet in it. This here, I think, is a lever for a sink or something. It's pretty heavy, cast piece, but I think it's cast zinc, strangely enough. It's kind of white. This is definitely zinc. Like a buckle, piece of a backpack maybe. This is the bottom of a Matchbox car. Half of the bottom of a Matchbox car, so it's kind of fun. This is a handle from a scissors. And this is some kind of a little frame, like a picture frame or something. You can see this is probably the inside of it here, because it's a little more detailed on the other side, but I can't open it without fear of bending it. Maybe I'll still try. And this thing here, I do not know Kind of looks wrenchy, but it kind of looks lightery. A couple of jewelry bits, jewelry pieces. This is pretty interesting. I think it's silver plated. Kind of heavy. This is Hannah Montana. Pretty faded. Man, did that one ever turn out wrong, huh? This is a little like lion pin. And then a St. Michael medal. On one side it says Guardian Angel Italy. The other side it says St. Michael Italy. It was a little exciting from like a silver-ish standpoint until I got it too close to this. I don't think it's silver. And loss or lose or something like that. Don't know. Here's a couple of little bits. Thought this was a diamond at first, but it's got a little chip out of it, so it's not a diamond. Maybe a CZ, more likely glass. Just a couple little bits there. Moving along, we have the Zinkens. So many zinc Lincoln cents. These are button batteries. Those always look good at first when you dig them. You think, oh, it's a nickel or something. Nickel coated button battery. Yuck. Here we have some copper that went through my cleaning process. I clean these in an acid bath and then whiz them to see what dates they are. These went through on accident. They're copper. This whole row is 1964, so you got 2 that were cleaned and 3 that weren't. That second row is 81, so you got 3 that were clean and 3 that were not. Then some 70 and 80, just kind of a mix there. This row is damaged. That one you can't even really tell what it is. That it's a copper penny. This one's pretty bent. That one's slightly bent, and that one's real corroded. But I still like the looks of all those copper. Here's some steel washers and steel nuts. Was a little excited by this. Thought it might be Chinese cash. However, it comes to a magnet, so it's just the steel washer. Junky steel. Here we have a gold-plated something or other, and I always find these things. Still don't know really what they are, but they're gold-plated, and they keep adding up. I find a few of them every month. The security section, shackle from the padlock, a couple of keys, and a half of a gas key. I looked for the other half. I did not find it. A couple of lighters, working lighters. I always find 1 or 2 of them. I found these on consecutive days, which was pretty funny. 3/8 inch socket extension. Random bit of steel, a collar to something. Big bolt. I'm going to maybe do something in my forge with these. 1/4 inch drive. It looks like somebody's little toker or something. I don't know what they were doing putting it through plastic like that. But this is interesting. Here we have our pieces of lead. That's a fired bullet. This is part of a jewelry zipper pull. I don't know what that is. That's a bullet. Here's a brass casing from 22 mag. Don't find those very often. And this, quite interesting to me. Remington 3030. Found this in town. And I found that towards the start of the month. This one I found right at the end of the month. It's a Remington 30-06 shell. Now this looks like it's been crimped off on purpose, and it's heavy down here. And then I noticed, well, kind of the same thing about this one. So I'm gonna cut those open and see what's in there, because it's probably just sand, but it might be something neat. The beaver tails. I always like finding these because they're old, so I know that no one's found them before, and that I'm on older ground that no one has found stuff. And here is the most interesting stuff that I found this month. Here's a key that says, it's got like some Chinese writing on it. And on this side it says squared circle. My son looked up these Chinese characters, and that also means squared circle. Real old key. I found this in an old part of town, an old park, underneath a beaver tail. So, old ground. And these items here. 2009 penny, that went through the cleaning process, as did this. It's a Zinken. It's got a little sign of the Gideons, the Freemason. It's stamped clear through. Kind of cool. 1983 penny. Hopefully that's copper and worth a fortune. It's probably not, but it might be. Car wash token. I find a few of these, well, maybe one a month. And then this. Oh, that's a Canadian penny, 1976. But it doesn't say bicentennial, so it's almost like it's probably an error or something. They weren't celebrating the American bicentennial. Get it? This is kind of big. It's for a space shuttle launch on a certain date in '91. It's kind of heavy. It's got shiny spots on it. This is just cleaned with soap and water. But I think that's kind of cool. It's about the size of a $50, I'd say. So there you have it. No silver this month, except for maybe this little piece here, but hard to tell. Anyway, I had a good time finding it. I hope you had a good time looking at it. It's not a fortune. It never is. But it's just fun to see what I find and to show you. Thanks for watching.